to do.
Today, Hillary said this at her alma mater, the all-women's Wellesley College.
In so many ways, this all-women's college prepared me to compete in the all-boys club of presidential politics.
All right, so here to discuss this, Sam Youngman with the Hill newspaper, Taylor Marsh, a writer for the Huffington Post, and Amanda Carpenter is still with us. Thanks to all of you for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Sam, you actually were one of the, I think maybe the only reporter who actually got to listen in on this conversation where the Hillary campaign team was sort of talking about the debate, etc. Are they really blaming the media?
Well, I think, the supporters certainly are. That was what was striking about being sort of a fly on the wall in this phone call, because the supporters were downright livid. They felt like there was definitely an unfair amount of attention on Senator Clinton. The supporters, the staff, Mark Penn, who's her senior advisor, they didn't disavow their supporters of that notion. They did make a point that other candidates were getting, I think, exact quote, other candidates were getting asked questions like, is there life in outer space? And
someone made a comment that someone suggested that Tim Russert should be, quote, shot.
Right. I don't know if that supporter was actually advocating an assassination attempt on Mr. Russert, but I do. They were. I think that accurately expresses just how angry they were.
All right. Taylor, look, this is to me typical sort of digging into the far-right playbook. You blame the media, you play the victim. Look, she's the front runner here. She's asked the tougher questions. He or she or whoever that person is going to be asked the tougher questions, particularly by the other candidates, and maybe even by the moderators when you're ahead in the polls by as much as she is.
Well, she has no problem answering questions, but you can't ask her a question and ask a yes or no when you have 30 seconds and it's not a yes or no question.
But that's
the other thing is, I hate to disabuse anyone of something, but Hillary Clinton is the first woman to be a viable presidential nominee. This is a big deal.
Wait, hang on.
This is a big deal.
So therefore we have to treat her with kid gloves?
No, she's not getting treated with the kid gloves, but she didn't get asked, what would you do with air travel? I mean, give me a break.
Look, your article suggests that some of the moderators are being sexist because they're asking her harder questions, as opposed to the fact that because she's the front runner, she's being asked tough questions.
No. If Mr. Russert would have asked her about S-chip, something like that, a lot of the questions were, hey, can I finish? A lot of the questions were personal. That is the problem. That doesn't help anything. And there's 2 months left. There are two other candidates that are.
Illegal aliens, licenses for illegal aliens is not a personal question.
He didn't ask me about that.
Is not a personal question.
Wait a minute. He didn't ask me.
Hang on, Amanda, hang on a second. Taylor, go ahead, finish.
We weren't talking about the illegal immigrants question specifically. And if you think Hillary Clinton, who is from New York, isn't going to support the Democratic governor, I don't know where what planet you're on.
Here's my problem, Taylor.
You guys conservatives want this issue dog whistle.
Okay.
For the 08 election.
I think you may. I mean, if you want to talk about Amanda, what she wants it for, fine. But my point remains that I think it is a low blow. It is lowbrow politics for people to A, claim that it was the media's fault, or to B, claim it's because she's a woman. And you in your article are suggesting that it's sexist. And you still haven't laid out a single example for me of why their questions were somehow sexist. You say to me, oh, they should have asked other questions, and maybe there were other topics that would have been nice to discuss.
Well, first of all, Tim Russert asked a couple dozen questions. Most of them were about Hillary. 5 or 6 of them were about her personally. He brought Bill into it. This is the same thing he did with Lazio back in the Senate race when he tried to do a gotcha thing. It's fine to go after S-chip. It's fine to go after these others. But why does she get all the questions and Barack Obama gets something about air travel, what he's going to wear for for Halloween, for God's sake.
Look, I mean,
because
it's
Barack
nice
Obama
to,
doesn't have all the problems she does.
But it's nice to play sort of Monday morning quarterback and say, you know, I wish he'd asked this question instead of that one. But you've got no evidence, none, zero, that somehow that this is sexist. I mean, nothing you've said suggests to me. I understand.
It's his. Look, it's his.